Hey guys, it's Chris Picado, and today I'm going to be talking to you guys about a real estate software called Lofty, formerly known as Chime. Now, in this video, I'm going to cover the topics that I really don't like, as well as the topics that makes this software very well and competitive to the other softwares. I cannot stand a software that does not have the support to help its users. Lofty has absolutely the bottom of the barrel of the support. If you're one of those people that need hand holding, or if you have a question and you're trying to get an answer right there and then, which is almost every realtor, right? Most realtors usually don't have time to work on their technology aspect things. So we kind of need a plug and play or just up and running when we go to use it, especially for larger teams. This is not the software to use. If you depend heavily on support, even if you're like me, where you're pretty tech savvy and you can create your things and you can play along, drag and drop, and get the concept of things. If you're going to need support, which I thought I wasn't going to need, if which you probably will at some point, if you're going to need support, expect long queue times on the chat support. There was a time that I needed support, and I figured, you know what? Let me go ahead and do the chat feature. I started off at Q21. It took about almost an hour and a half to get down to number three, and then it stayed stuck on number three until almost 3 hours later. It was the absolute worst experience that I have ever encountered in any type of support capacity. You can also call the support line, but when you call the support line, you're also put on a queue. Now, it is a little bit faster to call. However, there are times, I guess recently due to the amount of concerns that have been going on with Lofty, that the call times is just as lengthy as the chat support. Now, I will say, well, Chris, if they're super busy, there are things going on, they're not going to be able to get to you on time with chat or on the phone. Well, let me reiterate. The times that I've called, there was no issues going on with Lofty. It was simply support questions that I had for my CRM, and it took way too long to get a response. To give you a little background, I come from using a software that many people love and use. It's called KV Core. I've also used Follow Up Boss. And I will say that with both CRM systems and both companies, I have never have had an issue contacting support. I have never have had an issue where they don't reply to an inquiry within the first 24 hours. With Lofty, if you send an email because it's either taking way too long with chat or on the phone and you want to leave a message, I have experienced where I have received a response to my inquiry nearly a week later. Not only that, did it take a week before they responded with something, but the response I got did not solve the solution. And I'll dive into that a little bit later, but it just did not solve the issue. The other issue that I have with Lofty is that Lofty has a forum on Facebook where you can go, and it's a community forum where people can go and look at what people are posting. And normally, from my understanding, from running Facebook groups, and not only for myself, but for other companies, bigger companies than Lofty, I have never encountered a forum group where the community cannot engage or post anything negative or constructive on their community forum. That defeats the purpose of a community forum. If there is a problem that somebody has, support can't get to them, support can't answer the phone, what is the point of having a community forum if you're just going to simply delete and stop and close the comment boxes on the post that people are putting? As a user, I like to do my own research first before calling support, before calling anybody else for some sort of help or emailing support. So the first place I go to is a user forum. So the fact that the user admins are closing the chats because somebody had a bad experience and they're talking about it on the forum, they delete that comment and they give you a warning. Hey, don't post negative things about blah, 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 blah. And then you have, of course, the police policy. The admin users will go ahead and see if there's any negative comments and they will delete it. That raised a big flag for me. Why is there a company that's deleting comments and posts about their software and only leaving the positive ones? That will cause me not to purchase anything from your company. And at the same time, it's creating a horrible client experience. I can tell you I am not the only one that has noticed this, and that's part of the reason why I'm making this video. I am not the only one that's encountering this issue where my posts and comments are being deleted. Most of my posts and comments are always constructive and very professional. This is the first time that I'm going publicly about this company because, quite frankly, I have been receiving direct messages and I've seen comments from other agents as well with expressing their frustration with the Lofty admin group. At the end of this video, I'll show you screenshots and for privacy purposes, I'll blur out the names of these agents, but I will show you comments and direct messages that I've received from these agents expressing their frustration with similar experiences that I've had. Quite frankly, the way that Lofty sees it is if you're talking negatively about Lofty, if you just say anything negative on top of a solution, your comment will be deleted. There was an instance that something happened and I knew the solution to it, and the agent had posted something around the lines of, "Oh, so I can't get a hold of support, blah blah blah. This is unfortunate." And then she stated what her need was. So I went ahead and commented, "Well, you know what? Unfortunately, support is not the best at getting back at replies, but this is what you do." And of course, my comment got deleted, and I had to screenshot my answer because I knew that they were simply going to delete it. And guess what? Not even 5 minutes later, that post was deleted. I absolutely hate the Lofty support system. The rules are quite simply dumb. There's no other way to put it. For you to delete comments, it's not a community forum. It is not an open community forum. If you wanted a forum to where there's only positivity spoken about and people are not able to see the true fact about the experiences that agents are having, you're quite frankly manipulating the system is what you're doing. And of course, to a new agent that's new or that's not familiar with, they're doing research, they're going to see, oh, look at all these positive comments. This must be a great system. That's not how I operate. And I'm almost certain there are experienced agents, which are the ones that are making money, that would buy your program for $5.99 or whatever it is that you're charging, that don't have a discount through a brokerage. Those are the ones that are going to be asking you these questions. And when they see that, I guarantee you they're going to jump ship, just as I'm thinking. I was very excited about Lofty. I'll be quite honest, prior to me joining Real Broker, one of the decisions as to why I joined Real was because they offered Lofty. And that sealed the deal for me. And I was super excited to join Real Broker, and I'm still excited with Real Broker. Real Broker is not the problem. The problem here is Lofty. The support. Again, I am a very tech savvy person. I don't need handholding for a lot, but when I need something, I need it done quickly. And just like many agents, as I mentioned earlier, when we need things quickly, as our business relies on your response, especially big teams. When big teams, most of the time, big teams already have their CRM. But I'm sure from a business perspective and an SDR perspective, you're going to want to get those agents to change over to Lofty. And I'm telling you right now, until you fix your support system, these agents are not going to jump ship. I guarantee you they will not do it. I used to be an office manager with top producing teams, and they use Follow Up Boss. They've used KV Core. I've worked for a broker where we didn't have KV Core. We finally got it, and it was a mission. And it probably still is a mission to bring those teams that are producing onto KV Core because they're so used to other CRMs that have worked for them successfully and that their support has been there for them successfully without having to feel that they're being cheated on with the experience that they're getting. But here's the offer and what I propose to the Lofty executives. Run the support system how it's supposed to be, as a true community forum, and stop manipulating the forum. If you guys are busy because you guys are understaffed or you don't have the enough support to be able to support the amount of agents you guys are bringing in, well, one, it looks like it's time for you guys to hire, number one. Number two, if you can't because you don't have the bandwidth, quite frankly, let the forum do what it's supposed to do. At the end of the day, if you let people express themselves how they want, it's going to stand out. And let people decide what is good and what is bad. You guys have no idea what every agent needs, because what might be a problem for me may not be a problem for someone else. So I say all that to say, if you have no interest in support, if you don't care about support and all of that, then what I'm about to say next is going to interest you. As far as the CRM, the website, and everything else about this software, it is absolutely amazing. I love the CRM. The CRM has a very good similar feel to Follow Up Boss. It has things that Follow Up Boss and KV Core don't have, I believe yet, but they do have something that I do enjoy. That it still needs work, but it's a pretty good program, and it's the AI generative built into the CRM. I use it. I have it connected with my website. So when someone join or it's on my website, the pop-up comes up. I love the customization of the website. That is probably one of the easiest drag and drop website designs that I've ever used. Again, I've used Wix, I've used GoDaddy, I've used Elementor, I've used you name it, I've used it, and different IDXs as well. The integration between the MLSs is great. I have nothing bad to say about the system itself. CRM wise, again, very similar to Follow Up Boss. It has a ways for you to stay organized with tags, segments, pipelines. It also has, again, the AI integration where it's a bot that, if you get a lead that goes into your CRM, they start interacting with that person. And the cool feature that I do like is that you can turn that on and off. You can have it just monitor behavior. The customization on this is absolutely great. And for those that like to be in control of their business, I definitely recommend the CRM. It's probably one of the best ones, and it's very competitive with Follow Up Boss and KV Core. Like I mentioned, Smart Actions is equivalent to campaigns where you can trigger tasks, you can trigger emails, phone calls, text messages, uh, email marketings as a daily, as a campaign that you can follow, and that way you don't have to create follow-up tasks every day. It could do it for you automatically. If it's a phone call, it'll create a task for you so that you can dial. I believe there's also a feature where you can put it where it dials you at that specific time. So what would happen is if you have, your Lofty company number, redirected to your cell phone number at that specific time you specify. It'll call you. It'll tell you, hey, this is Lofty, just letting you know, connecting you to your client, and you continue your call there. And again, similar to KV Core and other CRM websites or softwares. Social Studio is probably one of my favorite features. I really like the integration that it has with social media, where you could just upload one thing and it goes out to all of the social media posts. Now there are some tweaks that you have to do in the event that it's a link. Obviously, links are not able to be posted to Instagram unless there's a photo. There's some improvements that I think Social Studio can have to really perfect it. I've been using it for my blogs. I've been using it for my social media posts, and it posts to almost pretty much everywhere: LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, even your Google My Business. That was one of the reasons why I enjoy Social Studios, because it posts to Google My Business. And if you don't have your Google My Business set up, that's something that you might want to do as an agent. But the fact that you can post to Google My Business here was a big decision maker for me to continue to use Lofty despite the lack of support that I've gotten from their team. Their dialer, I do have 3 personal numbers. Their dialer, it's great on the computer, but on the mobile app is not as great. You can't pull up a dialer like to dial out. If I get a phone call, I have to save the contact before I can dial that to the dialer on the phone. It's just too many steps that I think that, little things would work if they just fixed it. But ultimately, what makes the most sense is that it's there. They have it available, but I don't think it's at the level that it should be compared to other dialers. Something else to note. Uh, the problem that I had was with my 10 DLC registration. If you get a phone number from Lofty, you have to register it in order to send out text messages, and you won't be able to send out text messages until that campaign is approved. My approval took almost 30 plus days, nearly 30 plus days for it to get approved. And I could start sending text messages. However, the issue that I ran into was that now that that campaign is approved, none of my other three virtual numbers are registered, and I don't see them so that I can register or put them under the campaign, which is why I needed to reach out to Lofty support. I reached out, there was no solution to it. To this day, they're still not there. And quite frankly, I've given up on that because I either they don't understand my request, or I'm speaking some sort of language that they don't understand, and quite frankly, I don't have the time nor the patience to deal with something like that. So one of them is working. I'm gonna have to work with that until they decide when it's a good time to fix it on their time, because my time clearly is not important. But again, going back to the positives, CRM is great, very well to stay organized, very similar to follow-up bots. You can create campaigns, property alerts, listing alerts. You can do uh, everything. You can integrate it through it. There's also marketplace where you can add additional softwares, like lead generation, Google pay-per-click, Facebook ads, all these other things that when I first started, I was like on fifth gear, ready to tackle on and doing everything. But as I was getting set up and I saw how long the support team took to answer to something, and how the lack of, I guess, professionalism, and we'll go with that for the lack of better terms, that they provide, just kind of started bringing me back. Like, I don't think this is where I want to spend the majority of my money when it comes to marketing. So I've stayed away from the marketplace because I don't feel like I want to give my money to Lofty anymore. However, like I said, the CRM is very great. It's tied to my website, and that's clearly I've put in a lot of time and effort to my website, which is why I'm still hanging in there with Lofty. If it wasn't for that, I definitely would have jumped ship, and I probably would have went back to KV Core, because you know it takes a lot of time to set all this up. And if you don't know how, it's going to take even longer. You're going to get exhausted of just even looking at the screen because you don't even know where to begin. Trust me, I get it. I've been there. So I understand how you feel if you're feeling that way right now. But I will tell you, the website and the systems itself, once they're put in place, again, websites, landing pages, smart campaigns, property alerts, email signatures. Once you have all of that set up, it works flawlessly. But until you get there, it's going to be rough. And unless you know what you're doing, it's going to be even a little bit tougher. However, I will say, if you have the time, do it. I at the time I had the time to make my website, customize it how I wanted to, and initially I devoted myself to, it was almost 80 hours just to fix all that when I switched brokerages and when I was setting everything up, ordering signs, creating signatures, all this stuff, because I do it all myself, guys. I do all my marketing, I do everything myself. So um, I could hand that off, but I'm one of those people that I like to be in control of it. And if I can do it, I will do it myself. There are things that I don't like to do or that I'll delegate, but my website is my storefront and I need it to look a specific way. I need things to be in place in a specific way. I need my SEO to be there. I need my tags to be on there, my metadata, all that stuff that if you don't know what you're doing, you're going to be having a tough time getting leads in because your website is not set up how it's supposed to be. Nevertheless, like I said, this is I'm going to show you guys comments that agents have left on posts that the admins have put on the forum, so you can physically see what they're saying, as far as like negative comments, how they're policing their policies and their rules on the forum, which I absolutely hate because this is a community forum, but there's no open community to communication within, amongst the other Lofty users, which come from all different brokerages: EXP, Fathom, Real Broker. There's just so many other agents that I would love to connect to and help, not just because I know I'm not a full 200% expert on Lofty, but I'm pretty tech savvy and I've gotten around and found solutions to things that the support team didn't even get to me on time. Um, so I found solutions. So if I can provide a solution to the community with something that I have done and it works for them as well, why not give me the opportunity to post that on a comment, regardless if I'm giving constructive criticism to Lofty. And the reason I give this criticism is because I come from a culture where you give this feedback, you provide the feedback to a company, especially in a startup environment. You want to know what's going wrong, what can we fix, what can we do better. That's my intent. But it's clearly shown that Lofty has absolutely no interest in learning what they should do differently. And unfortunately, that's my biggest pain point with Lofty right now. And that's exactly why my motivation or my excitement has really gone down. And I don't plan on giving Lofty any more of any additional cost for marketing or social studio pro or whatever, until they make these changes, because quite frankly, I don't feel like I have the support. I don't need the support, but you know what? I want to know that I have the support in the event that I need it. And I'm sure a lot of team leaders and brokers would probably feel the same way. So, with that being said, in terms of systems, integrations, and the software itself, Lofty, I give you two thumbs up. It's very competitive to KV Core, very competitive to Follow Up Boss in terms of the systematics of things. And as far as pricing as well, it's very competitive to what those companies are charging if you were not getting a discount from your broker, or if you're not getting it from your broker at all. It is very competitive. And I think Lofty has the upper hand with their AI technology. However, like I said, if they don't make the necessary changes to the support team, they will lose a lot of customers. I don't know the reasoning why they changed the name from Chime to Lofty, but from what I've heard from other agents that I've spoken to was that ever since they made that change, the quality of Lofty has gone down, or Chime Technologies, whatever it's called now. I don't know. This is just what they've told me. However, that's just an opinion that an agent gave me. There's no proof of that I can provide to you, and I like to speak on facts and provide you my experiences that I have had with Lofty. I'm sure there's agents out there that have had a great experience, and if you did, great. Please tell me what you did to get the Lofty support team on your side, because I'd like to do the same. But as of right now, as a single independent agent that does everything himself, I don't have the support from Lofty, and that's where I stand. But like I said, I do recommend Lofty if you don't need the support, if you're good with systems and putting things together yourself. These are some of the comments that agents are stating about in the community forum that I mentioned. For security and the privacy and respect of these agents, I have blurred out their names and their photos. But if you're part of Lofty and that forum, you can scroll through their posts and you'll see exactly what people are saying. And it's not just something that I just came out, to say out of thin air. Again, my intention with this video is not to bash Lofty. It's simply for them to make a change with their support team, make it more interactive with the user and the communities that you guys have built, that you guys are charging a lot of money for. I'll tell you right now, before I joined Real Broker, I was considering getting Chime. I spoke with a representative, and when he told me the cost, I was like, well, you know what? It's competitive with KV Core and Follow Up Boss. I'm paying for Lofty at a discounted rate due to my broker. However, if I would have been paying this out of pocket, I would have been highly upset. And I'm super sure, almost positive, the reviews would have been through the floor. So I encourage the Lofty team, the Lofty executive team, to make these necessary changes so that you can understand the needs of a real estate agent. Because right now, it seems like you're more interested in the needs of your executive team and your company than what the user needs are. And that's my opinion. So guys, if you guys need any help with Lofty, or if you have any questions about my experience with Lofty, or just anything with Lofty, KV Core, software, HubSpot, Salesforce, anything of that nature, real estate related, tech related, feel free to give me a call. I'm going to put my information on the screen. Feel free to give me a call, send me a text message. And again, I do real estate full time, so I may not be able to get you immediately, but either myself or my assistant will get back to you in a timely manner. So again, I'm here to help. Again, doesn't matter if you're with Real Broker, EXP, Fathom, KW, Berkshire Hathaway, Sotheby's. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, I feel like we're all in this together as real estate agents, real estate professionals, as I like to call myself. And if there's anything that I can do to help your career or help your business, please let me know.